fighting without battle, feeling without fleeing. Finding community in the digital chaos and internal dysphoria of fear from the unseen, in the nightmare where imagination is sensibly more valuable than dreams of peace and love, has been unwillingly made a weapon to be the hero in King's tomb. There is always talk about pressure and necessity, which is always prevalent in any system that rewards ingenuity and intelligence. And while these ideas are not wrong, the intention behind is often lost in the chaos and order conflicting within each as they grow in a community. Communities often have rules that become values that create what is known as bigger nation states, that follow the same rules and normality in what is expected of behavior and goals. This is the dividing line between total anarchic loss of self and the presence of a forcibly unforced unconscious unity. Systems of any form are not always placed to control and oppress, rather to guide and progress any individual of said community towards their own higher purpose, without the forceful nurturing that a lot of cultures use. On the basic truth, there is no hive mind education which exists counter to individualism. In the sense of a society with high levels of competition, the goal is not to make enemies of each other, but to recognize that each individual has strengths and to not put value on only what can be done, rather what each individual can do for each other. As a child growing up in safety with resources that allow growth and learning and safe environments to both be children and learners, without a fear of being hurt, the journey through time is a journey of discovery of interests and topics that can be developed into a mastery during the stages of child, adolescent, adult. The opposite is often more normal in communities with high pressure and large populations, where opportunity is scarce and competition, while often not violently fierce, still remains high threshold due to the large amount of talented or hard-working individuals in the community. The expectations placed on children growing in such communities often create fiercely hard-working or clever individuals that place high value on getting what is known as an upper hand on the competition, in turn fueling a somewhat desensitized competitive environment. The internal narrative of any being is influenced by both environment and opportunities that the future has for each individual, not because of what is chosen for them, but what is chosen by the person growing. This is dependent on society not being hell for some and heaven for others. A usual trend in any society that goes through renewal is the closing and disappearance of ways or paths that leads to control, and open up paths to the fulfillment of personal purpose and the feeling that everyone and everything deserves their own internally manageable mentality of flow, so long as that does not damage or hurt the establishments. Seekers of power and violence often, not always, abhor the thriving and joy of those below them, who did not fight the same battles or struggle the right way, and seek to twist and mold the paths and environments of innocence into a constant battle against what was already very decent and comfortable. The favorite quote of these people is often, "There is no eternal friendship, only eternal benefits." And while this merchant mentality works in the world of commodities, the growth and development of a world should not rest solely on the basis of what commodity a being has, nor should such ideas be prevalent. To live is to die in the sense that going from nothing to something or someone within oneself, and having been allowed to grow and choose to either seek and protect or build and secure. The idea is the mirror of the ways that each chooses to chase what makes internal happiness, not external pressure that causes fear and anxiety. The measure of any life, thing or being is not the value or ability, as these are skills and can be learned. The measure is always the heart and courage to do what is just and kind, with no evil or vicious intent just because one must. Nature and nurture works as machines, both inherently flawed in their perfection and disabilities. Not due to the mechanisms, but due to the intent of each generation weakening, and what was once abhorred and violent qualities suddenly becoming glorified due to fears and failures of the enlightened, into leading and showing and allowing forces within each community that do not hold the best wishes of everything and everyone within, to gain more influence to create and nurture fear. The mechanisms are the same, but the intention and will behind the users change in time and struggle that is often not of their own volition.